Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this video. So this is the final part of the Unreal fight scene, right? So I think whatever you're learning in this fight scene project, this is not even like a project. It's a learning process that you can put into the Hangar project or any other future Unreal project. So this part is going to cover the final camera techniques like the camera rig reel, camera crane, like those extra props they use in music videos, right, or filmmaking, like stuff like this here. This image here by the right is like a reel where you have your camera mounted and then it moves smoothly to maintain same movement, right? It can be a straight line, it can be a curve, it's like something like this. I think this is even Unreal like stuff already. And then there's a crane. So this is a crane. So this is a camera attached to a rig, like a crane rig, right? So it tilts up and down, and it can go around, and the arm length can be adjusted as well. So most times it used to be used, right? Well, before drone came into scene, right? Crane is being used before drone came into scene, right? So I think they use crane in some kind of shoots because you can remote control the movement for some kind of advanced camera cinematics. So like all those kind of war scene, all those, especially those epic war scene where you have soldiers running in the valley, right, and approaching the opponents. So they have very long crane mounted with the camera and starting from the down position and just panning up, showing them running, coming from distance. You get so, and just different ways you can use your camera actually. So this is just part of the tools that I'll just briefly show you guys how to use, just in case you need it. It's not necessary to use all the time, but just in case, it's just good to know that okay, this thing exists in Unreal, just in case you need it. You get so and then again I'll just touch on the rendering to finalize everything. Okay, so here we have my Unreal project, right? So this is the file where I saved it. So for me, I have my Unreal logo showing here, but for the systems at work, I don't know, it's not showing this Unreal logo, it's just showing a white file, right? So you can't double click and open it. For me, I can double click and open it. So I would assume yours is like showing white, not showing the logo, right? So what I would do to open it, I would just copy this link, right? Copy this link, and then when I open my Unreal Engine, let me open my Unreal Engine, right? I'm just going to launch 5.3. So this is my Epic launcher. So you may or may not have it, but it's still going to work. Or just come down and open it down here. So it's loading at the other screen, so you can't see it. I'll drag it to the side now. So it's here. So I'm opening the way you open it at Yappi. You get since the Unreal logo is not showing at the file format. So this is it, right? What you do now, just come to browse. Some of you already know this process. I'm just showing you guys. For those that don't know, come to browse. Then you can see mine is already reading my file location, but most times I'll assume it might read somewhere else. Do you get? So just come to this part here on this empty space, click on it, and then Ctrl V to paste the link you've copied earlier, right? And enter. See, it's going to bring you to your document here. So then the last name you see Unreal project, that is it. It may still not show the logo, but this is just it. You get, click on this and then open, and then it's going to open your project. So again, it's loading at the other screen. It's opening in like 3 seconds. Should be done. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So it's here. So another problem is this: most times we would open the project and then we'll find out that, oh my God, where are my files? It's missing. You begin to call and panic for help. So what you do, right? Your files are here. So long you open your project, here it's showing untitled, no name, everything. Unreal works like that. I don't know why. So now this is why I made mention of the creating folders. It's very important to create a folder and save everything accordingly. So you have to go back to your content, assuming you have followed the directions of creating folders, right? I have my character, cinematics, levels, and texture. Of course, starter content has been there, right? It comes on the default opening of Unreal. So you come to levels is where you're going to save your scene, right? Your shot. So when you go to levels, right? So you look for this is it, right? It's called level underneath. So just in case you do not create this folder, so I guess you have to find where you save your level, whatever you name it as. I name my fighting 1, but just check that underneath here is written levels to be sure that's where you're opening. So double click on that. It's going to open where you stopped at, so long you save the project. So now you have your characters, right? All textured and position. So let's look for our sequence where we have our timeline and animation. Go back to your content, obviously go to cinematics, and then to be sure what the sequencer is, underneath is written level sequence, underneath here, level sequence. So that's what you double click. So you have to open this viewport scene first before you open sequencer. If not, you might have some errors in your camera missing and all those things. So that's just the hierarchy of how I observed it. So fine and good. We have everything in check. So these are camera cuts. We can just click on this camera to view what we've done, right? So enable it. When you click on it, we disable it, enable it. So once we play, so this is what we've done, right? So from when we stop, I did like a 3 camera cut. I guess I've showed this already in the previous tutorial. Yes, so that's it. Okay, so now I said I want to show you guys the camera rig and camera crane before we head onto the last part, which is rendering. Okay, so I'm going to snap out of the camera cut by clicking this, right? So since I already have my cameras are already active, like I have 3 cameras on my scene, right? 1, 2, 3. So I'm already using them, so like I don't want to tamper with them because I've already like applied them on my sequence. I've animated some of them, like this one's animated, so I'm going to use a new camera instead. But before then, how do we get our camera crane or camera rig, right? Go to your cinematics, same place where you get your camera, right? So you can see them here. We have camera rig crane and we have camera rig reel. You get. So for this camera shake, for camera shake effect, maybe I might do a tutorial on that. So let's drag in camera rig crane to test and see. So you can see it looks similar to what you see here. Can you see? Yeah, so this is the rig. So this is the rig. So this is where you attach your camera to this part here. So it's quite easy. So I'll just quickly run through it. Okay, so I'm shifting the pivot. Okay, so to attach our camera to it, right, we need to know that this thing has some properties to adjust the control up, down, or the round motion. So how do you do that? Obviously, anything you want to change the settings in Unreal, right, it's always at the details panel. So when you select that object, come to the details panel, you can come down, you see the transform, right, and then you can see here everything crane controls. So this way you can control it. You have the crane pitch. So you can see this is the crane pitch, the up and downward movement you get. And then this is the crane yaw. The yaw means like, I don't know what the yaw means in English, but obviously you can see what it's doing. It's going with a circle motion. Yeah, so you can animate this, of course, you can animate this. So now in the equation, let's reset the values, reset. So how do you attach our camera to this? So when you select this, right, when you come to your outliner, you have your camera rig crane here. So you have to know where your new camera is, right? So what we're going to do, this is our new camera. So you can rename it just in order not to get yourself confused, right? Because we have a different cinema camera. So you can just double click to, let me see, to rename, if you want to rename. So I can just write maybe crane camera, so that I don't get confused. Crane camera, they get, so it's renamed. But if you know what you're doing, you can just work with it like that. So all you need to do right now is to select this, left click and drag it onto the camera rig crane. You get. So make sure you are over it and you see this green check up here, right? So just let it go. So it's going to like parent itself. So you can see it's underneath the camera rig crane now. When you click this arrow, it's going to dock it under, you get. So you can see. So that means we have parented it to the rig crane, and that's one of the easiest ways to parent in Unreal, like one way actually. So, but we need to bring this camera underneath the point. So how do you do that, right? Select the camera, right, and go to your controls here, go to your transform. So let's reset the location of the camera. We can reset the rotation too by clicking this arrow here, and then you can see. Look at it. Let me go close to it so I see. You can see, so it's pinned to the crane. Obviously, you can't see any chain, any wire holding, but of course it's digital camera, so it's already attached to it. So when we control the crane now by selecting it and go into our panel here, you can see the camera is moving with it. You can watch our thumbnails also changing as well. Can you see the circular motion, the yaw? Let's go to the yaw. You can see the camera is going around with it. Yes, so that is how to use it. Yeah, so how do you animate this? Right? You can do that. So now there's a problem here, right? The camera is not focused on the characters, because when it goes around, it goes off the camera, off the characters. So what Ori can do is that the camera has a focus setting, like a tracking. So what we can do, we can select this camera, right? And then we want this camera to track this guy, so that even if it's going around, the camera is still looking at these guys, because that's the main point of cinematography, right? So select your camera, right, and go to your camera settings, right, down here. So you look for where you have this lookout tracking settings, right? Just open that. You can enable it, enable lookout tracking. Click on this box, so you can see our camera is like pointing at the default point. So we need to like tell it where to look at. So there's what we call actor to track. There's none. When you click on none, you see a lot of things that the thing can track. Yeah, so you can select like maybe one of our character, the dino kitchen, right? And you can see it snaps to, I think it snaps to kind of the root of it. Or you can use your eyedropper to just select whatever you want in your viewports. You get, and it's still gonna work. So whatever it is you want, you can just click on the eyedropper and you can see. So if I should control my camera crane now, right? You see that it's still gonna like keep it locked on that position. So I guess it's locked on the foot. Can you see? It gives it kind of like very nice camera animation, which is going to be very hard to get when animating camera manually. We have to get a perfect circle, to be honest, without using a rig. Okay, so maybe just to increase, you can see. So this is what it looks like again. So it's tracked. So that is it. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Let me delete this, right? So the next one is the camera reel, right? So you can actually play with this in your free time. So this is camera reel. So it's very short here, so we can obviously edit it by clicking on this white handle and pressing Alt and let's click to drag, to extend it. Alt and left click to drag, Alt and left click to drag. Let's make a curve here. You can edit it by clicking on the white one this way, doing this, clicking, drawing this way, and then Alt to drag on this axis. So this is not the perfect circle you can ever get, but you can play with this Bezier handle. If you know how to use Photoshop or Illustrator, you know what this does. It plays with the curve, you get. It's like the white stuff. Then you can play with the handle. You have to go close, I guess. F, like this. You get, so you can play with the curves. So let's assume this is what we want, for example, right? It's not so perfect, but let's work with this. So let's snap, that place is very rough, but let's do it like that. So let's snap this camera to this. And how do we do that again? We drag this to the camera rig reel, which is this, and it's underneath. So the same way, select your camera, go to your transform, reset this value and reset this value. You can see the camera is on it already, but the camera is like tilted under the ground. You can just put it up. It's allowed, you can do that. You can as well rotate it, so you get. I don't know when it's locked. It's very hard to do that. Okay, I think because the tracking is on, that's why this is on. Yes, so I think you have to like lock it first. So let's say you want to have it this way, right? So when we click on this camera rig rail, right, and then we have the rail control. So we have current position and rail. when you left click on this to drag, it's going to move around. Do you get? Can you see? We move it around, but obviously the camera is not tracking our actors. So let's do make the camera track our actors. Select this and just select this guy. Where is my color? Push. My rudder's hand crashed. My wheel has crashed. So sorry about that, guys. I'll just start again. Okay, so we're back again. Open it to level. Okay, so yeah, so everything is gone, like at least all the new thing we've done is gone, but it's fine. So let's just bring it back again. Camera rig wheel. Camera rig wheel. F to frame. Wheel up a bit, so we can edit this by clicking on this and just dragging this, right? Just dragging it. You can make a call by holding Alt and dragging. Alt and drag here. So we're just trying to make it like just an arc. It doesn't make it a round circle, it's possible, I don't know. It's not a perfect circle, but we can edit the handles, right? So we can edit the handles to get kind of shape we're looking for. So it just depends on what you want, basically. So let's say we want this, right? So let's parent the camera to the rig wheel by selecting it here and dragging it. Oh, sorry, not this camera. Sorry, not this camera. By using a new camera instead, because that camera is already assigned to something else. So let's use this camera. Let's assign this camera 4 to the rig wheel. This one. So let's come to the transformer. We set the location. So we can see it snaps to the rig wheel. Press F to zoom. Let's position our camera right. And obviously when we select the rig wheel now, we have our rig wheel controls. When you click and drag here, you can see it's going around. You can see from the thumbnail here. So we need our camera to look at our actors. So we have to do that by selecting the camera, going to the lookout position and select this. And use our eyedropper to pick what we want. This guy. Yes, so that is it. So when we animate this, sorry, not this, sorry. Animate the rig wheel now. So you can see. It's still not. There's something going on here. Hey guys, notice this thing. Sorry, I need to fix this thing. Sorry. I need to see what's going on. Okay, yeah, I fixed it. Okay, so let's do that again. Go to the rig wheel and you download the value. You see, and it's tracked on our actors. So, but now there's an issue with this thing. It's always tracking the foot of the actors, which I don't like, and you can't control it from here when it's tracked. That's the problem. So I use this rig wheel for my car animation that I did. It helped me a lot. Okay, so how do you fix this thing now? This is a problem. I don't know. I've not used this for a human character before. But let's see how we can fix this together, live and direct. So I think we should create a new focus on where we can adjust, because I can't move my camera, but I want the camera to, I want to adjust my focus, right? So let me turn off the camera tracking. Let me just turn it off, right? So I'll change this object to something else. So let me add something here in my scene. Let me add like an actor. Where is that actor? I think this, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, let me add an actor because it's not going to render. Look at this, is not going to render. You can see, I can use G to hide everything. So I'm going to, so now I can focus, I can put this where I want the camera to look at. Yeah, I think this should work. So when I select my camera, let me pick actor, right? Let me enable it right now. Yes, so you can see, okay, this works. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we just solved the problem now. So yes, perfect, perfect. So you can see, so this works. So I think it's good to use your lookout for something else and not your characters, so that you can adjust it. So you can see, so you can adjust it. Same thing with the crane as well. So if I hold my actor right and I move it, sorry, let me pin this thing so I can see what's happening. So if I hold my actor right and I move it, you can see that it's moving the camera. Awesome. So we want total control of our camera. So I think you should use this instead. So I think this is the best solution. So use this. Of course the camera focus is not right, so you can just come to your focus settings, right, and just you can pick your actors, right, so they're more focused now. So I think this is the best way to go about that. So perfect. So you have your very nice 360 shots. Okay, so let me make this so long. Okay, so like how do you animate this thing, right? Let's open our sequence and our level sequence, right? Yeah. So so we can add this camera reel to our track here. Add camera reel here, and you have it again. So we have it here. So I think we can add our current camera reel position. This, use this, and then that is it. I don't know for adding the camera, but let me see. Okay, yeah, so it works. You get. So I think this works. So this has to animate it. So I can come in now on frame 1 and press keyframe here, and go to like end of the frame, and then just animate what I want, right? Then I keyframe it. So when I play this, you can see it going around. You can see. Of course, you have to adjust your camera now so that it can show well, just the way you want it, because it's cutting off some points. It's showing the sky more, so just adjust your positioning. So basically, that's how you use it to get. So that's how you do that. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yes. So so now how do we render? So how do you render, right? So let me just delete this. I'm not using camera frame. So how do you render, right? So we have this camera cuts. This. So of course, when you render, all these things are not going to be visible in your final renders. You get. Yes. So this is what we're going to do. This. Okay. Alright, so you click on this render clapperboard icon here, and then you're going to have these settings here. So we are leaving this at default, leave everything at default, change this to 30 FPS. So click on this box, change to 30 FPS, because we are using 30 FPS in our scene here, right here. So this output directory is to change your final output where you're going to save your work. So I created a new folder here called render. I went into it and select the folder, and that's it. Then click on capture movie, save selected of course, right? And then it's going to render. So it's going to bring a thumbnail here. So it's like a quick way to render a video preview, you get, and it's done very fast. So when I go to my file, see here render, and I have it here. So I have two already, you get. So and I have it already, you get. So there's this issue happening. The guy is falling down before the kick comes, and meanwhile, in my scene, I can close this. It's playing normal. You get. So I don't know. I have to fix that and get back to you guys. Yes. So that's how to render quickly for a video. But if you want like a higher quality render, you can use your image sequence, right? When you click on this, we have different outputs where you can use your EXR, your JPEG, or your PNG. So for those of you who want to use image sequence, you can just change this to any of them, right? And then let me see, do you have the video resolution? Yeah, you can change your resolution, right? I think you have all this your 2K and the rest, so you can adjust what you want here. So we're adding 16 by 9, which is the full HD, right? So that's fine, and then change your output and just render. So if you want more advanced rendering settings, right, you have to like come into edit, and there's a plugin called Movie Render Queue. We'll look into that later. I don't want the video to be too long, so we have to check this to have other render options to get. Yeah, but for now, let's leave it at that. And I think that should be the end of the video. Alright, thank you.